Hello everyone! Today I am going to do a Q&A video because I promised I would do a Q&A video apparently it was 5 months ago. I apologize that it took me so long. If you are watching this and you're not aware of that, I made a video in which I took the 60 personalities test online, and then in that video I announced that I would do a Q&A. Yeah, and not too many people asked questions, so I think I'm probably just gonna try to answer all the questions. If you're watching this and you're like, oh, I want to ask a question, but I didn't see that other video. I mean, if you want to, you can still put a question in the comment section of this video, and then I might answer it just in text form, if I'm comfortable answering it. I also recently reached 1,000 subscribers, which I think is really cool because I never thought I would. So thank you all, everyone who supports my channel in any way, whether it's by liking a video or commenting or being subscribed. I really appreciate it because you're giving me the chance to talk about the things I really like to talk about, like MBTI. So, but yeah, since I made this video quite a long time ago, I do hope that the people who actually asked me the questions are still around, as in are going to see this video. But if they're not, then it's I just laughing at the irony of this, but otherwise it's just gonna be a video of me talking to myself for maybe an hour or something, which is also fine, if that's how it is, then so be it. But then again, maybe some people are still interested anyway, even when they didn't ask a question. So, okay, first person who asked me a question. Spectacular Spider Dan, which that's a great name. So how did you find out about MBTI? And why did you decide to study it? Also, why did you decide to make videos about it? So, first of all, let's see, have you commented before? I feel like you have. Yeah, I feel like you have. I think I recognize your name. I just want to show my appreciation for the people who comment. And yeah, how did I find out about MBTI? That's a good question. So I used to be one of those people who would just be interested in doing random personality tests. Just taking online tests. Ooh, what personality am I, right? So I came across the 16 personalities test and I got the answer INFJ. And I read the profile, right? And I was like, whoa, this is so accurate. Because it did describe me pretty accurately, I thought. And I was kind of surprised, And I think this is probably how a lot of people get into MBTI. But I was really surprised at how accurate the description was. Kind of scary, right? So I thought to myself, okay, I want to know more about this, right? So I started looking up things about INFJs, and that's kind of how it started. I was kind of lucky that I actually got the type that I actually am on the test, because I started looking things up about INFJs, and over time I just discovered that I am actually an INFJ, even when I actually learn about the cognitive functions, right? But yeah, anyhow, I started looking things up about INFJs, and then I came across YouTube videos, right, about INFJs and about just MBTI, other types. And I at first didn't really understand the cognitive functions at that time when I looked it up. There weren't many videos explaining it very well, but there were a few, right? And especially I kind of had to rely on the INFJ videos. And there were actually a lot of INFJs in the community. It was 5 years ago or something. Because INFJs are just, for some reason, really interested in MBTI. So there were a lot of people, a lot of INFJs making videos about themselves, sharing their experience. And I thought it was very relatable. So I got really interested in it. Why did I decide to study it? First of all, it really helped me. It really helped me understand myself better. It helped me feel like I could finally accept myself for who I am, because I realized there have been a lot of things about myself that I hated myself for, because it was different from other people, right? Different from the people around me, especially, for example, not being very good at extroverted sensing was a big one, and also just the nature of introverted intuition is something that I kind of hated myself for in a way, because the people around me usually didn't understand it and didn't appreciate it, which kind of makes you feel like there's something wrong with you. And then I saw all those people, for some reason, they were a lot like me, and it was like enlightening, you know? I also never met an INFJ before, so because it helped me so much, I wanted to study it and learn more about it. I also discovered that it made it so much easier to understand other people, and I could really feel that this could really help me with also relationships with people, and it has helped me like so much, especially, for example, my family and friends made me understand them in a way that I was so the same feeling, like I was so surprised at how accurate it was, right? Like, oh, this type perfectly describes this person I know, and it explains all of the reasons why we're different, right? And it made me have better relationships, I think, with people, because I also forgive them now for things that I didn't used to forgive them for, because I really thought they could change something about themselves easily that they couldn't, because it's just a thing that their type struggles with, which I didn't know, right? Because I think we all naturally kind of assume at first that everyone has the same brain as we do, and something that's really easy for me, for example, like being more introverted, is not easy, for example, for an extrovert. And I didn't understand that. Of course, it goes the other way around. They often didn't understand me either. Yeah, I just saw how incredibly helpful it is, and I think that's why I wanted to learn about it. Why? Oh, I'm giving such long answers, but I'm just gonna accept it. This is just gonna be a long video. Why did I decide to make videos about it? So I never really saw myself as someone who would end up making YouTube videos. But okay, first of all, when I started making my channel, creating my channel, I wasn't in a very good place mentally. Like, I wasn't very happy, and I needed something to kind of distract me from that. I thought to myself, right, like, I need to do something new. I need a hobby. Like, I need to do something that's kind of crazy, something I normally wouldn't do, just to distract me from how I feel and just to have something else to focus on. And I had never really been thinking about necessarily making a channel about MBTI, but I did, like, I love the MBTI community. It meant a lot to me. But when I was thinking about making a channel, the main reason why I even considered it was because I wanted to make a video about anxiety. I have made that video, but that was the first thought I had. I was thinking, if I'm ever gonna create a YouTube channel, then I'm gonna make a video about anxiety, because I struggled a lot with anxiety. Like, it already started when I was like 11 years old or something, and then it was really bad. I don't even know how it's possible that it was so bad, but it just was. And I had a relatively normal life as well, so I don't really understand the reason behind it. But at the age of 12, I was like the most anxious person on the planet, to the point where I was never happy, right? There was not a second of my life where I was actually happy, because I was always worried about something. So I also never got help with it, because, and that's why I also want to talk about like mental health and that kind of stuff on this channel, because I was a literal kid, you know, like I couldn't do anything myself. I was like 12. I didn't understand what was going on with me. No one helped me. And I'm not blaming anyone like my family or anything, because they just didn't know better. But like, even still, it just shows that it's kind of bad when it's a taboo to like talk about psychological problems, right? Because no one talks about it. I didn't understand what was wrong with me. I have to say, I mean, I wasn't the easiest person to talk to either, because, I mean, that's just how teenagers are, right? Like, just didn't want to talk about my problems. But at the same time, no one ever told me that I could go, like, maybe see a psychologist or something and try to get help. I never knew that anxiety disorder even exists, you know? I didn't know any of that. So I tried to find a solution by myself, and I managed to solve most of my problems. So I felt this like responsibility to share it with people in case it could help someone else, right, who's going through the same thing. Secondly, I just like the idea of sharing life lessons with people, because I keep track of the life lessons I learn for myself. I write them down and stuff, and then whenever I learn something that I think is like really, really important, or like a great way to look at life or something, then I want to make a video about it, because I always just feel like this need to share it. But most people don't want to listen to it because they don't want to talk about intuitive stuff, you know? Like, a lot of people are either extroverts or they're not intuitives, so they're kind of like, oh, why are you thinking so deeply about things? Like, people don't want to hear it, so then I'm like, I'm just gonna make a video about it, and then I like the fact that I can just talk about something I actually like talking about, like life lessons and philosophy and stuff, because I still feel that need, like, I'm like, oh, I figured something out, maybe I can help someone, even if it's just one person. That would still make me feel like I accomplished something. Then I started making the videos, and I thought, I'm just gonna talk about MBTI because those videos did well. Like, my other videos where I talked about mental health stuff or self-improvement or just random philosophical things, like, they didn't do really well. And then all my MBTI videos were the videos that actually did well. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm doing that now. But I do love talking about it. And it also motivated me to learn more about it as well. It made me get like a new goal where I was like, I'm gonna try to become an expert on it, because now I have a reason, right? I have a reason to try and do that, because there's actually people who watch my videos. Instead of just kind of learning it for fun, I thought by myself, okay, I'm gonna try to be an expert on the topic, right? No, try, right? That doesn't mean that I am necessarily, but I'm gonna try. Yeah, also I just thought about making videos about MBTI because as an INFJ, I felt like maybe people want to listen to what I have to say, because I know that there's a lot of INFJs in the community anyway. So that made me feel a bit more comfortable about actually putting myself out there, because I'm still, you know, introverted. What I'm doing was pretty much out of my comfort zone. The cool thing was that there were actually a lot of people in the community who are also saying the same things. Like, I'm introverted and things like, for example, like, I'm nervous about making videos, but I'm doing it to improve myself. I'm doing it to step out of my comfort zone, you know, that kind of stuff. Okay. I don't know my name. Oh, you all have great names. I like this name because I know you've commented multiple times on my channel, and I was like, oh, it's the person without a name commented. Let's see. Okay, asks me, as for questions, not sure if you are interested in more abstract or concrete questions. All the questions, any questions, whatever you wanted to ask. But what part of filming videos do you find the most rewarding? Or do you enjoy all of it equally? That's a good question. Okay, so what I usually do is, like, first I prepare it, so it depends what video it is. Sometimes I need to kind of collect information on a certain topic. And sometimes I don't. Sometimes I know so much about it already that I can just kind of talk from what I already know. But then I usually write down kind of some keywords or key sentences and the structure of what I want to say. So first I prepare it, which is it fun to do that? Not necessarily. It's just something I have to do. And then filming it is kind of the same thing. I don't really necessarily enjoy filming it because it makes me a bit nervous, because it's like, yeah, sure, I can edit it, right? But I still need to focus on that I'm saying things in the right words and I'm saying things how I want it to come across, because it's still gonna be on the internet, right? So it's still a bit nerve-wracking to film a video. So I think I actually enjoy editing the most, because then I can think, okay, it's already done. I mean, editing can be tiring as well, because it can take a bit long, but I think I like that the most because sometimes I don't exactly know how to put something into words, but then when I look at the entire thing and I edit it, I can tell, like, okay, I should leave this in and I should leave that out, because the way I'm saying it now is not getting the point across, you know? And that's why I like editing, because I can look at the whole thing and I can change it in a way where I'm happy with it. I like when I can look at the end product and be like, okay, yeah, this is what I wanted, you know, this is what I was going for. So yeah, and then what got you interested in making videos in the first place? So yeah, I already answered this question. Do you have any favorite books, TV shows, films, etc. that you can recommend? I don't read a lot of books, but, well, it depends. Like, I have a few MBTI related books now, but I'm guessing you mean more like fictional stuff rather than, you know, books where you just learn something. But then again, I could still recommend them. Like right now, in terms of MBTI books, I have do I even know the names? I have the psychological types from Carl Jung, and then I also have the one from Isabel Myers, Gifts Differing, and I have one from Dario Nardi, which is about brain research. I have to say though, like that book, if there are any people who are in science, I just want to say that he doesn't go very deep into the scientific part of it, because he kind of writes it for like the general public, just so you know, if you consider buying that you're aware of that. Secondly, yeah, so I don't read a lot of books, but if I were to recommend my favorite books I ever read are, well, I have a bit of like cliche preferences, to be honest, but one is like Harry Potter. Like, it's like, yeah, everyone knows Harry Potter, but I really enjoyed those books, so a lot better than the movies also. And then The Hunger Games, also kind of a cliche. And then another book that's actually about like a story that actually happened is The Man Who Listens to Horses. It's about Monty Roberts. I know this is very random because it's about horses, but I'm personally kind of interested in animals, like understanding them, like even kind of understanding their psychology, right? He was talking about how he found a method to train horses by basically communicating with them in a kind of indirect way. And it was really revolutionary, because when he grew up, like, it was really normal to beat horses, to hurt them, to kind of abuse them, so that they would listen to you because they were scared, you know, and they didn't have any will to resist anymore. It was very sad, if you ask me. So he didn't agree with that method, and what he did was study horses, and instead of beating them into submission, he found a way to kind of communicate with them, and then he could train them. Like, he managed to train them without hurting them. And I don't know, it just was a beautiful story. He talks about it in the book. And yeah, it was so cool. Like, people actually thought like he was like a witch or something. Like, how did you do that? How did you manage to make the horse listen to you? I have to say, I don't watch many TV shows or movies either. I'm the type of person who kind of, if to me it's not really good, then I don't want to watch it for some reason. I'm really picky with those kind of things. And I would, if I think something's good, I will rewatch it as well. Let's see what I have in my Netflix account. Oh, I have one. Like, people are gonna think I'm so childish, but I kinda am. But I like Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is also really famous. But I just want to say, even though it is a show that's also like it's suitable for children because there's some violence, but they never show like a lot of blood. But I think it's really good. Okay, what else? Oh yeah, I know another one. Okay, so I would also recommend like this show that is kind of underappreciated because not many people seem to know it exists. It's called Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency. I thought it was really good, at least season 1. Season 2 was a bit less good. And then also, this one is kind of, again, everyone knows this one. But Stranger Things, I love Stranger Things. But yeah, everyone knows Stranger Things. Or at least a lot of people. Quite popular nowadays. But I'm recommending a lot of like science fiction kind of stuff. So if you're not into that, then what I'm recommending is probably not interesting. I could recommend some like again, I don't know if you're interested in this at all, but if you're interested in anime, I could recommend a few like I'm gonna just name the big ones, but should I even say it? I would recommend like Naruto, or however you pronounce that, because it's so good. But everyone knows it. But yeah, same for Death Note. What else? Oh yeah, Bleach. Also, Attack on Titan and Fairy Tail are ones that I watched that I thought were pretty good. If you could have more time every day, what kinds of things would you want to do with it? I think that it would probably be either creative stuff or just spending more time with my family and friends, because those are the things that I can sometimes feel like I don't have enough time, right, to do those things, and I wish I had more time to do those things. Because when it comes to spending time with family and friends, I think that technically speaking, you can never spend enough time with them, with people. So, not to say that I'm with people all the time, because I'm an introvert, but I'm the kind of introvert who I see the value in relationships, as in, ideally, if I had the energy to do it, I would spend a lot of time with people. Not all my time, because I still want to be able to reflect on things by myself, but I would spend a lot of time with people if I could, if I had the energy to do it, because I see the value in it. And then secondly, I just love doing creative things. So one thing, for example, that I've been wanting to do is like make a music channel. So besides working on this channel, besides working on art like drawing and writing, because I also like drawing and writing, which I would also want to work on more. Besides that, I also thought I want to make another channel where I upload covers of songs, like as in where I'm singing them. I like to think that I can sing. I don't know, because I don't really sing in front of people yet, but I don't know how to play an instrument, which I know, like there's this keyboard in the back, which makes it really seem like I know how to play a keyboard, but I actually don't. It's just there. It's just, I've tried, man. I tried to teach myself how to play the guitar, and then I just gave up on it because it was too difficult, and like your fingers you start losing feeling in your fingertips, and that annoyed me. It felt really weird. And then at the end, I was so bad at it as well because I just wasn't interested enough. Then I tried to teach myself to learn how to play the keyboard, and I also just lost interest. And I learned that when you're not interested in something, you're not gonna learn it. Or at least I'm not gonna learn it. So I'm just gonna stick to singing without any instrument. So anyhow, That's what I would do if I had more time. If you could wake up tomorrow and find you have instantly become really skilled at or knowledgeable of something new, what would you want it to be? That's interesting. I want to be... This one is just really kind of lame when you think about whoever's watching this probably knows my type, right? But I'm trying to become better at extrovert sensing. Like, that's like... If I could just decide I need to be skilled at something tomorrow, I'm gonna choose extroverted sensing, man. Okay, we got Mr. Progressive. I think you also left multiple comments, so thank you for that. As we... I forgot about this. I'm just kind of coming back to them. I read them when I posted the video and then I kind of forgot about the questions. Asks me, why are you wearing a hat inside? I'll try to stay serious. Is that an INFJ thing? I don't think so. It's just a meeting. One second. There we go. So, why? Like, because I like hats and I will use any excuse to wear them. Do you also provide tests or counseling? No, I don't. But like, it's this kind of thing where maybe if people keep watching this channel, right, maybe one day I could do something more, but I'm not sure if I want to do that or not. But yeah, I don't really do anything else that's related to psychology right now. Also, when it comes to that kind of stuff and counseling, even though I'm really interested in psychology, I'm not very comfortable working with people a lot because people tire me very easily. And that's why I usually prefer to work alone, because I love to help people from a distance. Like, I love doing that. But I imagine if I was a psychologist, I would just be exhausted every day, you know? Anyway, let's move on to the next question. Ooh, okay, this person has a lot of questions. Am I going to answer them? I think I'm just gonna try. So, who's this? Eduardo. Again, I'm probably pronouncing the names wrong. Sorry for that. Eduardo Villa Lobos. First of all, thank you. You ask me, what's your name? So, my name, it feels weird to say when I'm talking in English, but it's Merel, which is a Dutch name, which you are also asking me, what country am I from? I am from the Netherlands. How long have you been drawing and do you still draw? Yeah, I still draw. How long? Ooh, I've been drawing since like forever. It's always been a natural thing for me. Yeah, I've been drawing ever since I was a child for fun. I started seriously drawing, this was also pretty young, when I was like 14, I think. Then again, seriously, it wasn't really seriously, it was just that I started actually trying to improve, but it was still for fun back then. And when I was 18, I started thinking that I want to become someone who creates manga, like I'll grab one, like this, you know. It's gonna be a surprise what page we land on. What's going on here? Wait, it's not great. Why did I grab the most boring one? Okay, I think this one might be more interesting. I don't know, this looks sort of cool. So, like this. And that's when I also started becoming a bit more serious about it. Were you the one who asked me how old I am, or was it someone else? I don't know, it was someone else. You mentioned you have a master's in biology. What are your career plans and or additional educational plans? So, I do, and I really loved studying biology. But also, I don't have any career plans related to biology right now, because even though I love to study, it was mostly I loved to learn about it a lot. I love to know everything about biology, but I never had like a future goal of something I wanted with it. And I chose my study in a period of my life when I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I know I needed to do something, right? But I never had a goal. And that's was kind of a problem because I'm the kind of person who wants to have a goal to work towards, which I think has a lot to do with my type as well. As in, a goal could be like become a scientist and research this specific topic that I'm interested in. I always had topics that I was interested in, but not enough. Like, it wasn't enough to have this goal. You know, some people want that, some people want to work on nature conservation, but I just didn't have that drive, basically. But I did get the idea in my head that I wanted to be a manga artist, and because that motivated me, like, yeah, I can show you. What's the point of having them this close? I don't know. This doesn't make any sense. Now you can see them. I just thought this was gonna fall over, but if it does, then so be it. Yeah, so in terms of career plans, that's the only plan I ever had, as in the only goal. If it's realistic or not, nobody knows. But I know that I can't get it out of my head. So I'm just gonna keep working on it. Probably just gonna always keep working on it. And in terms of actual jobs, I just do whatever I need to do right now. So I am not looking for any specific jobs, and I have attached myself more to the idea of being an artist in whatever way, you know. So if YouTube works out, then I'm really happy with that too. I just love doing creative stuff. I personally feel most comfortable and most happy when I can do something creative or something to do with MBTI. Of course, like, I would love it if I could do a job that's related to it, but I think that the options for having a job that's related to MBTI, like in depth, when it's not about the test, when it's a bit more into the theory and that kind of stuff, I think the options for that are quite limited right now. If that was possible, I'd see that as an option. Oh, you did ask me how old I am. I'm blind, people. How old are you and what's your birthday? Oof, I don't know if I should share my birthday or not. Should I? How old am I? Yeah, I can share that. I'm 25. I feel like I shouldn't. If I'm doubting anything, I'm just not gonna. What do you like to do in your free time? Outside of school and making videos. So like I said, I like drawing, I like writing, I like just watching YouTube videos, listening to music. I like to spend time with friends. How did you get interested in MBTI? Yeah, I already answered this question as well. Do you have siblings? Yeah, I have one sister who's a bit younger than me, but we don't have a very big age difference. So she's an INFJ, which I think is really cool. Do you like gaming, movies, literature, etc.? Gaming, I've tried it. I never become really interested in it. I used to play some games on the Nintendo. I used to play Pokemon. Like, as in, I've never been a serious gamer, more like just for fun. So yeah, I used to play Pokemon. I used to play some Fire Emblem games. But I don't game anymore nowadays because I just don't see the purpose of it anymore. I noticed it wasn't really helping me, you know? But I know like some of my friends really like gaming, so I know some people like it. Movies, literature. I don't watch a lot of movies nowadays. I also don't read a lot. Have you thought about branching out to other kinds of videos besides MBTI? Not really. Well, I do want to make a music channel, but I started it and I want to work on it, but I'm like so embarrassed about it that I haven't made it public. So it's like one day it's a goal I have, so I want to make it public one day, but don't expect much of it. It's just for fun. it's just because I always wanted to do it and I never did. So yeah, that's the kind of videos I'm planning on making, but it's mostly just for fun. It's not as a career thing. On this channel, like, I don't think so. I think I'm just gonna stick to MBTI. What are some YouTubers and streamers that you like watching? I don't know, like, I don't really know if I want to share that, to be honest. Okay, the order of these questions is really ironic because next up we have JustcallmeJon, who is a YouTuber. I mean, some of you might know him, like, off his channel, since he is from our very own community, the MBTI community. So if you haven't checked out his channel already, then go check out his channel. Yeah, you have also commented more often, so thank you for commenting and supporting my channel. You ask me, how does it feel to be an ISFJ now? So, in the video I made where I took the 16 personalities test, it told me that I'm an ISFJ. So clearly that's my actual type, and I'm just in denial right now, and that's why I haven't said it in this video, but I'm actually an ISFJ. And yeah, how does it feel? I mean, yeah, so I noticed that ever since I'm an ISFJ, I've been crying a lot more than I used to. So, okay, there's a chance you don't understand the reference I'm trying to make, but if you're going to watch this, which I also don't know, but if you are, then I hope you do get it. Otherwise, it really sounds like I'm trying to offend ISFJs, which I am not. I think they're great. What's your favorite color? Yeah, so I'm pretty sure actually that you already know this, but in case anyone else wants to know, my favorite color is green. What MBTI type or cognitive function is the most difficult for you to understand? I'm just gonna go with the types I have the most difficulty understanding are the ones I don't know many of, which would be INTJ, ISTP, INTP, ESTP, and ENTJ. The most difficult. I actually still think that that's extroverted thinking, because it's just, for me, it's a bit harder to understand the function if I don't use it a lot myself. And you know what the thing is? I also don't use introverted sensing a lot. I barely, like, I thought about this, like, I barely use introverted sensing at all, right? It's not really my thing, but I do understand introverted sensing, but that's kind of like a coincidence because my family is filled with introverted sensors. It's not like I don't recognize it. I recognize types nowadays relatively easily. It's just that if I had to choose a function that I understand the least at this moment in time, it's probably extrovert thinking. And because after all, extrovert thinking and introvert sensing are the functions I use the least, and I still understand introvert sensing because I'm an ISFJ, you know. I mean, because also because it's an introvert function as well, because it does have some similarities with NI, and I think the introverted functions are sometimes a bit easier for me to understand just because I'm introverted, you know. Sometimes I don't even understand extroverted feeling because I'm like, how do I engage with my extroverted functions more, right? For example, extroverted intuition, sometimes I also don't always fully understand it, but it's just, I understand intuition so well that it's like, okay, it's not that hard to get it because it's still intuition. If you could choose one thing to help the world with, what would it be? Okay, but I wonder if you mean just one thing? If I could just choose one thing, or if it's like a random thing. But I'm just gonna assume you mean that I can only choose one thing. Okay, this is a bit difficult because on the one hand, I wanted to be a writer and an artist and then hopefully help people by providing them with something fun to read. And of course, I will just put my hidden life lessons in there as well. And also, when I write, I want the story to be about something I want it to make people think. I want people to start thinking about certain topics, as in, I just want to share my views on life through the story. So that's one thing I wanted to do. But on the other hand, I also like the idea of helping the world with making videos, like also just with psychology related stuff, right? That's one thing I want to do. Like I want to learn as much about MBTI as possible so that I can help people. So I would just go with the stuff that I'm naturally good at, like psychology, right? Psychology or art, probably. But I had to choose one thing. Okay, fine. If I have to choose one thing, I'm just gonna go with being a writer. Okay, what's the topic that you can go on days talking about that you probably won't make a video on? That's a good question. I could talk about writing, and stories. Like, for example, what did I think is good about a specific story? What do I like about the writing? Kind of analyzing stories like that. Apart from that, there are some things I could talk about that have to do with scientific stuff and biology. I could talk about things like evolution for a long time because I think evolution is really interesting. But yeah, even evolution in itself, it's gonna be a bit of a controversial topic. So I don't know, I did make a video on that kind of stuff, but not many, right? I'm not gonna talk about it too often because I don't want to freak people out too much. Okay, then we got Natio. Again, I'm sorry if I don't pronounce your name right. Yeah, I know you also commented before, and thank you for your comments. Are you on any Discords or subreddits for MBTI? Not really. I don't spend a lot of time using Discord or Reddit. Yeah, so not as of now, but maybe in the future. Who knows? Have you considered making a Discord community, perhaps with like-minded MBTI folks? So I thought about it, but I'm not sure if I want to do it or not. I know a lot of people also have Discord servers, and some of my friends have a Discord server. I think someone else also asked me this, so that's why I'm okay, imagine a lot of people want me to create that, then maybe I will. And otherwise, I'm not gonna put effort into making a community if I don't know if a lot of people are gonna use it, right? What career? Oh, you also asked me about career plans. And you also asked me, have you considered being a therapist or a counselor? So yeah, technically I already answered this question. But I feel kind of bad if people have to watch the entire video just for their questions if they don't have time. Because I have a feeling that this is gonna be a long video. But maybe I'll just put a chapter for every question. And then people can just skip to the relevant questions, basically. Maybe I'll do that. Do you watch any other MBTI YouTubers? What are your influences in MBTI and related areas? So, yes, but I have to say, so when I first got into MBTI, that's when I really started binge watching all videos related to MBTI, 5 years ago. So nowadays I've watched so many videos already that I don't watch them all the time. But I'm subscribed to some channels. I watch videos related to MBTI sometimes. It just depends. Other influences are the 3 books I already mentioned. So, Gifts Differing, Psychological Types, and neuroscience of personality. I kind of do want to make a list. For example, it's a bit different if I'm just gonna talk about random YouTubers that I just enjoy their videos because they're just fun. It's a bit less relevant to my channel, right? But MBTI YouTubers are relevant to my channel. So if anyone wants to know which channels I have watched, then I'll just put a list in the description of this video. And then that doesn't mean that any channels I don't mention that I don't like them or something. If there's any channel I don't mention, it's probably because either I haven't really watched their videos or because I just don't know them. This is Jack Haggerty. I would like to ask, who are the writers, thinkers, composers, and artists you give your attention to? And do you read Weil, Camus, Martin Buber? No, I don't. Let's look them up. Now I feel bad that I don't really know of them. You say attention is the rarest and purest form of generosity. You have this kind of attention. Thank you. I mean, I like that quote. That's very true. I guess the only really philosophy-related stuff I have read was from Jung's book Psychological Types. So it was from Carl Jung. But I guess this is one of the things I should do if I had more time. Artist is a bit broad. Of course, I pay attention to the books and shows I already mentioned, and also to the creators of the manga that I talked about already. Maybe some people might think like, oh, how artistic is it, right? But some of them are really good, like looks just like a movie, you know? Okay, for example, these kind of, well, scenes, I guess, in a way. This one was pretty good. Like it can be pretty artistic. This is also one that I have. I'm sorry for the violent stuff. I don't know if anyone minds that. You can tell like Kishimoto, like the creator of this, put a lot of effort also in this fight. I mean, come on, don't tell me this doesn't look cool. It's like the same thing from 3 different angles. And even just like the emotion, like in this front page, right? Like I also like how realistic it actually looks, you know? They have a way of drawing people where it actually looks both beautiful and realistic at the same time. So in terms of composers, so one band is Epica, then Breaking Benjamin, also Starset, Within Temptation, some stuff from Nightwish, Sia, which I think a lot of people know, Globus, Red. Okay, I took ages recording this video, but I'm gonna try to edit it and hopefully to make it less than an hour long. Thanks everyone for watching. Goodbye.